If you're like me and you're looking to maximize your full potential, here are the 4 areas I recommend that you highly work on. And my promise to you is that if you work on these 4 areas, the odds are going to be in your favor. So if you're ready, let's get it. So the first area that I highly recommend that you should work on is that you need to have self-awareness for what's happening. That can be any area in your life. Because right now, especially like say, in the things that are happening around the world, there's so many things happening, so many things changing, so many things that are rapidly evolving, that if you're not aware for what's happening, you're pretty much gonna be left behind. So that's not to say that you need to kind of like consistently try everything that's new, but it's more like understanding how things are moving. Like let's say, all these language models that are coming out and how people are leveraging those tools to be able to communicate and to be able to create content and to be able to deliver messages at a high scale. Like how are you leveraging these tools? Which one is the one that maybe you feel most comfortable with? But the reality is that things are going to continue to evolve. Things are going to continue to change. So how are you very intentionally making sure that you have the awareness for what's happening so that then you can make the decisions that you need to make in pursuit of your goals and your dreams? So that would be the first area to kind of start is that you need to have self-awareness for what's happening. And again, this doesn't necessarily mean just technology. It could be anything, like relationships or friendships or anything like that. Like have awareness for what's happening, because if you don't have awareness, then that can lead into situations that you may not want to find yourself in. But having the awareness can then help you to be able to make better decisions, again, to achieve the goals and the objectives that you have set for yourself. Now, the second area that I highly recommend that you focus on outside of having the awareness is that you need to make sure that the environment that you're in is conducive to the things that you want to do. So the things that you're watching, the things that you're reading, the things that you're listening to, all these things have to be things that are pushing you in the direction that you want to go, as opposed to pulling you away. Because the reality is that we live in an environment, we live in a day and age where there's so much information out there that you can very easily be swayed one way or another. But the most important thing is that you want to make sure that you are pursuing those things that are deep inside in here. And you got to be able to put yourself in a position where the things that you are feeding yourself, again, things that you're reading, things that you might be listening to, the people that you're hanging around, all right? If you're around people that are always kind of like negative and they always have negative perspectives and negative thoughts about everything, it's not going to be conducive to you having a positive mindset. And the flip side, if you surround yourself with people that are positive, people that are looking for solutions, people that are looking to better themselves and become a better version of themselves, and that's going to push you to be able to do the same thing. So auditing the environment, auditing the things that you're doing, auditing everything in your life is the second area that I would highly recommend that you focus on if you really want to be able to maximize your potential. So having the awareness, number one, but then making sure that you're auditing everything that you're doing from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to bed is extremely important. So now that you have awareness, right? You have awareness for what's going on. You've audited your environment. You changed your behaviors and the things that you're listening to and the things that you're reading and the environments that you're putting yourself in terms of like people and circumstances and social circumstances. The next area that I highly recommend that you need to focus on is that you need to make sure that you are 100% every single day focusing on the daily tasks, goals, activities, objectives that you need to do that are going to move the needle. If you're not doing that and you're allowing all the distractions that are happening every single day, either because on TV, social media, or anything else that's happening in your surrounding, if you're not 100% focused on the things that are going to move the needle, you're not going to get anywhere. Right? Because days are going to go by, weeks are going to go by, months are going to go by, and you're going to find yourself in the same circle, vicious circle that you don't want to be in. And you might see somebody else that has been focused on doing the tasks and the activities and the goals and doing that every single day, and you see them making progress, and then you might feel a certain type of way. It's all on you. You have the awareness, you audited the environment, but then you have to make sure that you're consistently focusing on the goals and the objectives and the things that you know you need to do every single day so that you can improve and that you can kind of like get closer to the things that you want to try to achieve. And then the fourth area that I highly recommend if you truly are trying to maximize your full potential, now that you have the awareness, now that you've audited your environment, now that you are focusing on the tasks and the goals and the objectives that you have to do every single day, the fourth area is that you got to make adjustments. Life is not a straight line. There's gonna come a time where you're gonna have to make an adjustment, but that adjustment has to be in direct alignment with the goals and the objectives that you're trying to achieve. You're gonna have to make adjustments. That's just how life is. Nothing's gonna be like, well, I'm trying to do this and I'm just gonna go straight forward. No, you may have to zigzag. You may have to do certain things. You may have to take a step back. You may have to look at the bigger picture and understand, okay, I need to make an adjustment here. This is how I've been doing this thing specifically, but things have changed and now I have to make sure that I modify the approach that I have so I can get better results. Because everything in life is about the inputs and the results. If you put in some inputs and the results that you're getting are not what you're trying, is not what you want or what you want to see, then you need to change the input. You don't change the result, you change the input. That means you make adjustments to the things that you're doing daily. So these are the 4 areas. You want to make sure that you have self-awareness for what's happening, for the things that are changing, for the things that are happening around you. You want to make sure that you're auditing your environment. You want to make sure that the things that you're seeing, the things that you're listening to, the people that you're putting yourself around are people that are pushing you in the direction that you want to go. And then you also want to make sure that, number 3, you want to make sure that you are executing on the targets. You want to make sure that you're executing on the goals. If you said this week, I need to complete this, this, and this, nothing should get in the way in that. And if something gets in the way of that, then the 4th thing is that you got to make adjustments. You got to make an adjustment to make sure that by the end of the week, if you said you wanted to complete something on Monday, you couldn't do it, and then Tuesday comes by and Wednesday comes by and life events happen and things like that, Thursday or Friday, you got to make it happen. You cannot let a week go by without making sure that you're completing those tasks and those goals and those objectives that are going to move the needle. And this is why it's so important that the 4th area is that you're making adjustments consistently. If you made it to the end, it looks like you're truly, truly committed to maximizing your full potential. So if you want to break free from maybe some of the habits that are holding you back, I highly, highly recommend that you watch this one here, where I give some guidance on how to break free from some of those habits. And with that, I'll see you on the next one. Let's get it.